He stood on his porch, smiling nervously, pleading for his wife and daughters to come home. To anyone watching, it looked like a man who had just lost everything. But something about that moment didn't feel right. The words sounded convincing, but his eyes told a completely different story. And as the investigation unfolded, police began to realize something chilling. He didn't look like a man searching for his family. He looked like a man who already knew where they were. Chris Watts was 33 years old. He lived in Frederick, Colorado, a quiet town where nothing ever seemed to go wrong. To his neighbors, he was polite, calm, almost forgettable. The kind of man you'd never suspect of anything. At home, his life appeared perfect. His wife Shanann was vibrant, outgoing, and deeply devoted to her family. She shared their life online, the smiles, the laughter, the milestones. Together, they had 2 young daughters. Bella, 4 years old, gentle and bright. Celeste, 3, full of energy and innocence. And there was another child on the way. From the outside looking in, they were the definition of a perfect American family. But behind the scenes, something had already begun to break, and no one saw it coming. It started in the early hours of August 13th. At exactly 1:48 a.m., Shanann walked through her front door. The moment was captured on camera, just another normal night. She had just returned from a business trip. Nothing seemed out of place. Nothing seemed wrong. But that would be the last confirmed moment anyone saw her alive. A few hours later, something unusual happened. Shanann missed a doctor's appointment. That wasn't like her, not even close. Her friend Nicole tried calling her. No answer. She texted. Nothing. At first, it felt like a small concern, but within minutes, it became something else. Something heavier. Something wrong. When Chris arrived home later that day, police were already there. The house was quiet. Too quiet. No sounds, no movement, just a stillness that didn't belong in a home with children. Shanann's car was still parked in the garage. Her phone was found between the sofa cushions. Her wedding ring carefully placed on the nightstand. Everything was there, except her and the children. 3 people had vanished. No signs of struggle, no forced entry, no explanation. And standing in the middle of it all was Chris. Calm, composed, telling officers he had no idea what had happened. But it didn't take long for investigators to notice the first crack, because while Chris said everything was fine, the evidence quietly told a different story. When detectives looked into his phone records, they found something he hadn't mentioned. A number, repeated, over and over again. Late at night, early in the morning. It didn't belong to his wife. His marriage wasn't what it seemed. Behind the smiles, behind the social media posts, it was falling apart. Then came the neighbor's security footage. A simple camera pointing toward the driveway. At first glance, nothing unusual, but when investigators slowed it down, they saw something that changed everything. Chris, early that morning, backing his truck into the driveway. Closer than usual, loading something into the back. Something heavy. Something deliberate. Then driving away. Alone. Was he panicked, or was he preparing? The pressure began to build, and that's when investigators brought him in for a polygraph test. The room was quiet, The questions were simple, but the tension was suffocating. Do you know where your family is? No. Did you harm your wife? No. But the machine told a different story. His answers weren't just failing, they were collapsing. Chris wasn't holding it together anymore. He was unraveling. And then, investigators revealed what they already knew. There was another woman. A relationship he had kept hidden. A new life he had already begun to build. And suddenly, everything began to make sense. But what came next, no one expected. Chris stopped denying it. He confessed, but the story he told only made things darker.
He claimed it was an argument, that things got out of control, that Shanann had harmed the children, and in a moment of rage, he reacted. He tried to paint himself as a father who snapped, a man pushed too far, a tragic figure caught in a terrible moment. But something about it didn't add up. If he was protecting his children, why were they gone too? If it was a moment of rage, why did his actions look so planned? Investigators kept digging, and what they found was far more disturbing than anything he had said. GPS data from his work truck placed him at a remote oil site, Survey 319, a location tied directly to his job, a place no one would think to look. And when they went there, they found the truth. Shanann's body buried in a shallow grave, hidden, but not well enough. But it was what they found next that broke even the most experienced investigators. Bella and Celeste were not buried. They had been placed inside massive oil tanks, dropped through openings barely 8 inches wide, hidden in a way that felt almost impossible. But the most devastating truth was still to come, because Chris had one more confession to make. As he drove out to that site, his daughters were still alive. They were in the back seat, watching, silent, confused. And in his final statement, he revealed something that would haunt everyone who heard it. Bella's last words. "Daddy, no." A moment of fear. A moment of realization. A moment that should never have existed. A betrayal so deep, it defies understanding. This wasn't just a crime. This wasn't just a tragedy. This was the complete destruction of a family by the one person they trusted the most. Chris Watts eventually pleaded guilty to all charges, avoiding the death penalty, receiving multiple life sentences. Today, he sits in a maximum security prison, alone, removed from the life he once had. But even now, the case refuses to rest. People still search for answers, still go through footage, still read every document, trying to understand why. But the truth is, there may never be an answer that makes sense, because sometimes there is no clear reason, no warning sign, no moment you can point to and say, that's when everything changed. Sometimes the darkness is already there, hidden, quiet, waiting. And that's what makes this story so disturbing. It wasn't a stranger. It wasn't someone lurking in the shadows. It was someone they loved, someone they trusted, someone who smiled and made everyone believe he never could. And even now, as he sits in his cell, surrounded by memories of the life he destroyed, one question remains. How many perfect families are hiding something just as dark? Because the scariest part isn't what he did. It's how long he convinced everyone he never would.
And that's where this story leaves us. This is Global Shadows. Subscribe and stay with the story.